But anyway, I digress. It's time to get to my third and final subject. Chuck Wendig wrote a new book, Star Wars Aftermath. There's been this big uproar about it. In fact, he is accusing the EU movement of being, I quote, the effing empire, and all sorts of vulgarity about us, which I do not appreciate. All right? And by the way, you're a best-selling author, Chuck. You maybe can come up with some better words than just cuss words to tell us how you're feeling. And that's just me. But of course, I'm not on the New York Times bestsellers list. Chuck Wendig is saying this is just a homophobic thing, and they hate it because it has gay characters in it. Where I looked online at Amazon and I didn't see any of those. Now, they probably were deleted. Okay, in fact, someone showed me some that I can't find now, but I'm sure they were deleted. I'm sure they were posted. And looking at the two that everyone's posting, one is from a man called Alan West. He's a Fox News contributor. I'd like to tell you that people from Fox News are in our movement. They're not. They said, I think they were something like, oh, Disney's pushing their gay agenda on us and blah, blah, blah. Oh, that's the EU movement. They hate gays. What? What? Wait, what? Calling us bigots and everything. Because it's easy to hide behind the shield and call people bigots, but it's hard to address people who don't appreciate your style of writing, which is what I'm seeing on the Amazon comments. There's nothing about that he has gay characters. That's not been an issue. The 1 stars are like they hate the way it's written, okay? Now, I haven't read the book, so I can't say either way, but that's what I'm seeing. Why the 1 stars there? Not because they hate gays. However, on Mr. Wendig's blog, he will not believe that. He spams, he blocks them, he calls it, I can't remember, some kind of spam, and anyone who disagrees with him on how the EU movement is, that goes straight to the spam box. There is actually someone who commented on his blog and said this: I haven't kept up with fandom in over 15 years. He said there are plenty of old EU novels he can't stand, and he's not defending the legacy series of novels. But then he does say that Aftermath is a terrible book. So here's a guy just being very honest. He said, look, I haven't kept up with the books in 15 years. I just got in with the new Disney stuff. He just started reading it. He's not trying to defend the legacy. He didn't even know it's called Legends. He calls it Legacy, which proves he didn't even know about the EU movement. He's just saying, I'm just telling you, Chuck, it's just a terrible book. I read it, just not that good. All right, let's look at Chuck Wendig's response. I'd like to ask, so it's really not a gay thing? But here's what I notice with some of the people who claim it's the writing. People are, by and large, pretty available on social media. Like, for instance, it doesn't take much to go to your public Facebook page and see article after article after article about your vigorous and religious opposition to homosexuality and gay marriage in particular. And then he goes on to say, seems like you and I do not have it's safe to say that you and I don't share the same political alignment. Wait, here's a guy whose book is selling really well. He's on the New York Times bestsellers list. He's continually making posts, but all these great reviews, what all these people got to say about his things. But he has the time to check someone's Facebook page when they say his writing sucks. What kind of free time do you have? I wish I had that free time to where anyone who said something nasty about me, I could check their Facebook page and learn all about them. Don't say anything about Chuck Wendig's book. He'll Facebook stalk you. But then, of course, Chuck Wendig comes like, are you sure it's not a gay thing? Because I did some investigating on you and I see you don't approve of that. No, it's not. Because Chuck, he had the gonads to go onto your personal blog and tell you to your face it wasn't that good. The writing's not that good. But yet you want to go ahead and just twist that around and say, oh, I know what you really meant. No, I don't think so. I think he would have said what he really meant. He bought your book. This is a customer who bought your book and telling you it's not that good. Now, you don't have to agree with him. You don't have to apologize to him. I'm not expecting that. But you surely do not have to be so angry and hateful toward him. Here we have a New York Times best-selling author going online and doing that stuff. What? Let me give you an example of how an author should behave to this. Kevin J. Anderson, way back in the day, wrote many Star Wars novels. A lot of people do not like his novels, and they were very vocal on it on online and on the through social media. What did Kevin J. Anderson, how did he respond? Answer, he didn't. He's a New York Times bestseller. He's not going to worry about the handful of people who didn't like it. If they didn't like it, oh well. He wasn't going to obsess over this. If his books were getting great reviews, being top of the New York Times, just as Mr. Wendig's, he's not going to complain. He's a best-selling author. He's going to get more contracts. He's going to write more books. He didn't Facebook stalk the people who hated him. And even in my discussion with Dave Wolverton, he even says that these authors are just wasting their time if they're just hunting down, it's almost like a witch hunt for Mr. Wendig, about anyone who says anything wrong about it, and he zips back at him. He fires back at him. Dave Wolverton, those people are just wasting their time. There's no sense in doing that. If he's happy about the book, which obviously he is, or he wouldn't have wrote it, if he's happy about how it put out, who cares if some people didn't like it? It's a bestseller. Why are you so mad? Why is he feel? He calls it toxic fandom, all this toxic fandom online. Of course, he didn't check the Del Rey Facebook page either, with some of these EU people congratulating him, thankful there is new Star Wars EU content, and saying stuff like Happy Force Friday. He doesn't care about that. All he cares about the negative people. The negative people is who he obsesses over. That's a sad life to have if that's all you can do. It's like if he won the lottery, he'd get mad because there was mustard on his shirt. And there are other people who didn't like his book as well. For instance, Red Team Review and Dork Side of the Force both gave reviews that they thought it was okay but not very good. In fact, Dork Side of the Force even says the nuts and bolts of the main storyline were jammed together and that Aftermath isn't memorable enough to stand on its own. Now, I fear for Dork Side of the Force. Does that mean Chuck Wendig's going to stalk his website and write a lot of hate on him too now because he didn't give it 5 stars? Well, let's talk about Amazon. Let's talk about the stars, right? That's the next big topic. What about all these 1-star reviews that came out the day of? Like those people even read it. Pfft. All right, well, let's look at those 1-star reviews, okay? Because I did. And you can also do the numbers on this. Now, give it. Numbers can always change if someone deletes a post, but at the moment, as it stands, 50% of the 1-star reviews that were given the day it came out were from verified purchases on Amazon. That's right. These people actually bought it on Amazon. It's a verified purchase. And they gave it 1 star. And here's how I can imagine this happened, because I would probably do the same thing. Reading Dawn of the Jedi, you folks know I've already done my review on that. I did not like the writing of that. I did not like it. And about, less than halfway into the book, I could see where it was going, and the writing was just awful. At that point, yeah, I'd probably get on Amazon and say, hey, this book is terrible. Some people were honest with that. They said, I only made it for the past 10 chapters, and this is just garbage. I can't read anymore. So they don't have to read through all the book. If they don't like the prose, the way it's written, which suppose it's written some special weird way, if they don't like that, then yeah, they're going to go ahead and voice their opinion. So I believe those 1-star reviews, and they're based on the writing, not on anything about there being gay characters in there. That's not even in any of the 1-star ratings. It's just that, hey, I don't like the way that it's written. Yeah, I can understand that. But did you know what? They say, oh, it's so weird that all these 1-star reviews is coming up on Amazon. That's the raid. No, the raid's never been Amazon. We've never done a raid on it. Why would we do a raid on it? That's helping it out. If you make comments on Amazon, it pushes the book further up in notoriety. Why would we do a raid on Amazon reviews? That's so stupid. You got to think before you say stuff like that, because we'd never do stuff like that. And why would you diss a book? And even the 50% of people who did not verify buy it from Amazon, what were they doing? Were they just putting a 1 star, just give it a 1 star? Maybe, but that's just dumb. I don't know why they do that. But you know what people didn't say anything about? About all the 5-star reviews that got written on the same day it came out. 5-star reviews. Did they read through the book? Why did they give it 5 stars? Out of all the people who gave it 5 stars on the first day, only 36% of them were verified purchases through Amazon. Folks, that means 64% of these people, I guess, bought it somewhere else, read a few chapters or read the whole thing in an amount of 2 hours, and then jumped on Amazon real quick to give it 5 stars. Let's look at some of these reviews. The first one is from Avatar Skywalker. And he says, just don't understand why there's a lot of guys so irrationally mad with Disney or Chuck Wendig's writing style or some other thing. It's actually not that hard to accept, okay? But you forgot to put a review about the book there, buddy. But you gave it 5 stars, so, oh well. Or hey, let's look at this next one. This is from Paul Wilcock. He says, 5 stars, loved it. That was not a verified purchase, by the way, through Amazon. 5 stars, 2 words, loved it. Yeah, you read it. Let's try another 5-star review. Actually, this is just 4 stars. Pardon me, it's 4 stars. It's from Steve Glossum. It was done on September 4th. This is not a verified purchase through Amazon. And he starts off with the phrase, apparently, there's a lot of speed readers out there. Yeah, Steve, and you're obviously one of them, because you posted on the same day as well and gave it 4 stars, talked about how great it was. So I guess you're a speed reader too. And no one talks about all the 5-star ratings that was given on the very same day. I kind of find that funny how they want to focus on just the negative there when there are just as many people. But you know what, folks? Why are people posting on the same day if they haven't even read it? What if all the 1 stars and all the 5 stars, no one read it on the first day, let's say? Okay, why would they post like that? Have you ever heard of SWAT? The Star Wars Action Team by Del Rey, which rewards people for commenting on Facebook, on iTunes, on Goodreads, on BarnesandNoble.com. They get 40 points each for talking good about Aftermath and 100 points for talking about any Del Rey book on Amazon. Wow, 100 points, 40 points for talking good about Aftermath. Now, this is the thing here. You don't get points for buying the book. So you don't have to buy the book to get the points. You just have to leave a comment on one of those websites. So the day the book comes out, yeah, I'm going to get my points because they can cash in their points for free merchandise. You didn't know this? Del Rey's doing this. So Chuck Wendig complained about all the people posting on the first day and they didn't even read it yet. Well, Mr. Wendig, I'm sorry, but the publisher of your novel is pushing people to make comments on their book and rewarding them for making comments, not for buying the book, not for giving honest reviews, just posting a comment, they get points and they're giving them free stuff. I don't know how you missed what's going on with your publisher. Maybe you were checking people's Facebook pages. I don't know. But Del Rey is the one responsible for all these posts happening. Because yeah, I'm going to get my points right. I want to get my free merchandise. Sure, I'll just comment on everything. I don't have to buy it. Folks, you see how this is working? Now I could talk about several things that have been going on, like the post someone sent about the autograph Aftermath book that he found in a used bookstore a few days after it had come out. Hey, them the breaks. But that's not the first time it's happened. That's just the first time we've seen it reported. I guarantee you there are people who've taken a book, read it, hated it, sold it to a secondhand bookstore to get something else. That happens all the time. But Mr. Wendig, you don't need to be argumentative and so toxic to fans who are critics of your book. That's just pointless. If you go into a cave on Dagobah, you're going to find out you're just fighting yourself. And anyone wondering what the EU movement's all about, well, I'll let you look in the comments, and as people I'm sure will post their links to their Facebook pages, go ahead, look them up, check them out, talk to some people. You'll see that they don't care who you are, what you do, what you believe in, where you work, where you live. Everyone is equal in the EU movement as long as you love the expanded universe. Remember, I told you, that's all I care about. I don't care anything else. I don't care anything. I don't even care about your political alignment. Well, we don't care about that type of stuff. I promise. I won't Facebook stalk you. All right, folks. That's all the time I have for today. Sorry about the long post, but it had to be said. I'll see you next week with another video.